Hello and welcome to another episode of Yoga Anywhere. My name is Amanda and I'm going to be taking you through today's practice. And today I'm joining you from beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. And we're going to do a practice that's really great for a long day of sitting. So this practice is sort of specific to people like myself who have traveled. When we sit on airplanes, we're kind of cramped, we're hunched in, our hip flexors get nice and tight from sitting, but if you haven't taken a flight recently and you've just spent all day sitting, you'll feel good with this as well. So let's get going. We're going to start by inhaling our arms up. And then exhale, we're going to tip over to the left, reaching our right arm long overhead. Really good. Inhale back to center. And then exhale the other direction. We're going to do this a couple of times. See if you can keep your sit bones grounded. I feel my left leg right now kind of trying to wander up. Keep your left and right sit bones glued to the mat. Inhale back to center. Exhale back to the left. Really good. Inhale back to center. Exhale right. Left arm long overhead. Really good. Inhale back to center, exhale down. Now we're going to move through a couple of neck rolls. So drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Just slowly allow it come around. And if you've done quite a few of my videos, you've probably noticed that we often do neck circles. I think the neck is often looked over. We get so much different pain throughout our back and in our heads. We get headaches and that sort of thing. And we think like, oh, my back is tense or I'm using my eyes too much. And certainly those things are probably true. But a lot of times it comes from our neck. The cervical spine, which is what we traditionally call the neck, should ideally be in line with the rest of the spine. But most of the time we stick our heads forward, myself included. As you come up, let's switch directions. So left ear towards left shoulder, slowly coming around. Really good. So if you sit at a desk all day or you spend a lot of time traveling, see if you can notice if your neck is sticking forward. And if it is, see if you can encourage it back a little bit. If you've got crazy hair like me, maybe put it back while you do this so it doesn't get in your face. All right, finishing up and coming back to neutral. Really good. Hopefully that feels pretty nice. And so from here, we're going to move on to all fours. So going on to all fours. You're stacking wrists directly underneath your shoulders, knees directly underneath your hips, moving through a couple rounds of cat-cow. So on an inhale, sink your belly, reach your hips and head, coming into that cow pose. Exhale, rounding down, arching the spine, coming into cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. One more round just like this. Inhale. And exhale. Really good. So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to flip our hands around. And we're going to continue doing our cat-cows just like this. So if this feels like too much for you, you can walk your knees in a little bit. And now inhale, cat. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cat. Exhale, cat. Inhale. Exhale, really good. Coming back to neutral, rocking back and switching the wrists. Sitting back on your heels and just doing wrist circles back and forth. Really good. So the wrists are another area of the body that's generally not given that much love, and they support us with everything we do, with writing, with pushing, everything. So from here, we're going to come to a downward facing dog. So spreading all 10 of your fingers, pushing through your wrists, and then patting out your feet, so just one leg and then the other. Nice deep breaths here. And then on your next inhale, reach your right leg up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, drop it in between your hands. We're coming down into a low lunge. Really good. Coming up. Stretching out that front hip flexor. So what I want you to think about here is not that you're in like the deepest lunge ever, but you're tipping the pelvis back so you're keeping a nice neutral pelvic bowl, and then sinking from there so you feel a nice sensation through your front left hip flexor. Really good. Inhale deeply. Exhale, walking back, coming into a hamstring stretch. One of my favorites. This is one of the things that I do the most in my self-practice. Now we're going to go through a dynamic flow here. So inhale, walk yourself back. And exhale, hamstring stretch. Continue like this. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, runner's lunge. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, back. Overround. Lunge. And exhale, back. Holding here for 2 more breaths. And then as you're ready, exhale back. Coming back to all fours. Now we're going to tuck our toes under. Big toes should be touching here. Make sure that all 5 of your toes are on the mat. So if your pinky toes are not there, make sure they are. And then we're just going to come up and we're going to sit back onto our heels. So we're coming into a nice foot opener here. We're also going to stretch out our arms while we do this. So inhale, arms up towards the ceiling. Hinge at your right elbow and come into a traditional tricep stretch here. Really good. Breathing into the sensations. One more deep inhale and exhale. Now inhale all together. And exhale, releasing it down. Untucking your toes and just patting out the feet. Really good. We're going to save the other arm for after our other leg, so you get a little bit of a break from that. So back to downward facing dog we go. Feeling how you feel, maybe side to side, maybe you feel a little bit more open here, maybe not. Inhale, left leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale, plant your foot in between your hand, dropping your back knee down, untucking your toes and coming into that low lunge. So once again, feeling that sensation through the hip flexor. Really good. Inhale deeply. Exhale, rocking back, hamstring stretch. Now we're preparing for that dynamic flow once again. So inhale, rocking forward lunge. Exhale, hamstring stretch. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, hamstring. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, hamstring. One more here. And exhale, hamstring, holding for 2 breaths. Keep your back nice and long. Neck nice and relaxed. Face nice and relaxed. Really good. Inhale, walking your hands forward. And exhale, back to all fours. We're moving through that foot opener once again. So big toes together, pinky toes on the mat. And sinking back. This time, arms up towards the ceiling. Hinge at your left elbow and come into the tricep stretch on the other side. Really good. Two more breaths. One more breath. Inhale all together. Exhale, release it down, patting out your feet. Really good. Awesome. Now we're going to come on to our sit bones and make our way into a forward fold. So stretching your legs long out in front of you, moving the flesh from your seat Flexing through your toes, inhale your arms up towards the ceiling, and exhale, hinge forward. And I'm feeling super, super tight today. I think the travel, just doing a lot of walking, and doing things that are a little different from my routine, which is what kind of happens when you're on vacation. So just observing how you feel today. Be different from what I feel. Observing if you can go, a little deeper into the posture than yesterday, or maybe a little less so. And I think that sometimes we think about this practice as always progressing. You are always progressing, even if you don't always feel it in terms of, oh, I went further, or I went deeper. So know that you're making progress even if it looks a little bit different than maybe how you imagined before you started practicing. Inhale deeply, and exhale, come all the way out. We're going to come into a butterfly pose, so Baddha Konasana. So bottoms of the feet come together, holding onto the ankles with a light grip. Take an inhale to lengthen the spine, and exhale to fold forward. Really good. Nice stretch to the inner line of the legs. Great job. Nice deep inhales and exhales. Inhale deeply, exhale, slowly come up. All right, from here, we're gonna make our way onto our back. As you come back, drag your knees into your chest. Give yourself a big squeeze. You're gonna reach into the inner edge of your knees. Grab the outside knife edges of your feet, coming into a happy baby. Really good. And then from here, I want you to bring the bottoms of your feet together and come into a Supta Baddha Konasana. Hands on your belly, feeling the flow of air in and out. And we'll rest here for the next 1 to 3 minutes. As always, thank you so much for joining me. Give this video a like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and namaste.